I want it to have the same elevation as this one, all I have to do is click on it, head over to my properties panel, click on the style beside effects, and click on elevation 1. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of getting started with Figma. In this video, we are going to dive into color, text, and elevation styles. If you're completely new to this and you have no idea what a color style or text style or effect style is, there's nothing to worry about. We'll be talking about all of this in this video from the very basics. So firstly, let's talk about why we use color styles or text styles or elevated styles, right? If you are working on a project, maybe a website design or an app design or whatever that may be, every time that you have to change the color of an element, you'll have to enter the hex code or use the eyedropper tool to fetch the color of another element, which is not very ideal. It makes the process way longer, it makes the process very tedious, and it'll take too much of your time. So by using color styles or text styles, you'll be able to define each of your colors in your Figma file so that you can instantly use it anywhere in your project without any hassle. So let's take a look at how we are going to define our color styles, text styles, and elevation styles or effect styles. Alright. So right here I've got my Figma file. I am going to go ahead and make a frame or artboard over here in the center. Alright, so we've got this right here, and the first thing that I'm going to do is make a color palette. So in order to create color styles, I will create a simple color palette so that you understand it better. Alright, so you would have noticed that when we build projects, when we make projects, websites, apps, whatever that is, we have a proper color grading system, proper color system, which has categories of different colors, denotative colors, layout colors, primary and accent colors, or brand colors. Right? It's not ever that you have 3 colors and you use them in your entire website. You always have categories, and that is how you make your color palette. Right, so I'm just going to make a very simple color palette here. I'll have 2 brand colors and 2 layout colors, and I'm going to define color styles for them. Alright, so let's get started. I'm just going to select my rectangle from here and draw it out. Okay, I'm going to change the border radius to about 4 pixels, and I'm going to change this to my brand colors. Basically, I'm just going to choose complementary colors, let's just say blue and yellow. So I'm going with a nice shade of blue, and my other brand color is yellow. So I'm just going to head over to my properties panel, fill section, change this to yellow. Alright, so I've got my 2 brand colors. The same way, I'm going to copy these and make my layout colors as well. So here we go. So my layout colors are essentially the ones that you use in your backgrounds or for your texts, etc. So here I'm going to select my rectangle, head over to your fill property, and I'm going to have a dark color and a light color. So this one will be light. So these are usually used in your backgrounds or for texts or any other major elements. We can make this a little more lighter. Right, F2. Yep, great. So we have our brand colors and we have our layout colors. So now let's take a look into how we can make our color styles. Alright, so all you have to do is select your element that has the color and then head over to your properties panel. On the right side, you'll see the fill section and you'll see 4 dots beside it. That says style. Alright, you have to click on it, click on create style, and then you can name your brand color whatever that you want to. So right now, because I have 2 categories of colors, styles in my canvas, I have my layout colors and I have my brand colors. Alright, so I want to name this brand/blue. Alright, so I have my brand/blue, and then here I'm going to create another color style that says brand/yellow. Alright, so now if I click outside, you'll be able to see on the right side in the properties panel, the color style has been created, and under the brand category, I have my blue and yellow colors. Right, so that's the magic. You just create them and they're globally defined. Right, the same way I'm going to add my text color styles for my layout color. So I'm just going to select it, head over to your properties panel, style, create style, and this will be layout dark. I'm just going to copy that and then head over to your other color, that's your layout light. So I'm just going to create, and it's going to be layout light. Alright, so now in my panel, I am able to see my brand colors and my layout colors. So this is how you create your color styles. So let's take a look into how we can use them. Alright, so say suppose you are making a website or an app and you need to make a CTA, a call to action button. Alright, so I'll just make a general small little button and give you an example. Alright, so I'm just going to type in button over here, maybe decrease the frame size a little bit and center the text over here. Alright, and I'm going to change the border radius to about 2 to 4 pixels. So 2 pixels looks great. So now I have my button and I wish to have my button to be my primary color or my brand color. So I want my button to be in blue or yellow, one of the brand colors. Alright, so ideally or initially what you do, you'd select the frame, you'd head over to your properties panel, go to the fill section. You'd either use this color picker over here or you'd use your color eyedropper and select the color, brand color, right? But that's too long and that's too tedious. Think about if you're working in another page in the same Figma file, you wouldn't be able to come back to this place to use your eyedropper tool and select the color from it, right? So this is where it becomes easier. All you have to do is select your button, head over to your properties panel in the fill section, you click on styles, and here you can see all of the color styles that you've created. Right, so here all you have to do is select your color style that you need over here. So I've got my blue. Same way I want this text to be in white, so I'm going to select it and head over to my fill section, style, and I want it to be in layout light. So layout light, here we go. Right, so I have my color styles defined. So in this color styling, basically what happens is that we define a global variable. So right now blue and yellow are my global brand variables and layout variables are my dark and my light. Alright, so anywhere I use an element which has, which fetches the same color from the global variable, it will draw the same color from it. So say suppose we change the color of this. I'm halfway through my project and I decide that my brand color needs to be different. It needs to be a darker shade of blue for some reason. Alright, and I want to change the entire theme. Brand theme. Alright, so what do? I don't want to go ahead and select every button, select every card, select every element that has my brand color and change its color one by one, right? So what I'm going to do is head over to your color styles, click on brand, and maybe I want to change blue, so I'm going to click on edit style. Alright, and I'm going to make this to whatever color that I'm thinking of, whatever color that I originally needed to be right now. Okay, so I'm going to make it dark blue. And now you can see that not only did my global variable, the color of which I was changed, but also the element which drew the color from the original variable also changed. So what happened is that I made my button and my button attained the color of my global variable, that is this blue. And when I changed the color of this global variable, this also changed, right? So that is the magic. So once you define your colors, once you define your texts and your shadows in your design system beforehand, before starting your project, anywhere that you need to change your color, you just have to go ahead and change the color in the color styles. You don't have to go to every element and do that. So that is where it becomes very, very, very easy. Alright, so now you've gotten an idea of how color styles work. Now let's talk about how text style works. Okay, so text styles works pretty much the same way. I'm just going to select a text box over here and type in maybe body text. Alright, and then this is about 18 pixels and thickness of medium, and I want it to have auto width. Okay, so now I have this and I want my subtitle, and my subtitle I needed to have 32 pixels of height, and I want it to have about semi-bold thickness, and this is my subtitle. Same way I want my header, so my header one will be about 48 pixels and it'll be extra bold or black. Alright, so bold. So now the same way that we defined our color styles, we have to define our text styles. So anywhere in your website where you're using a header or you're using a body text or you're using a subtitle, instead of changing all of its text properties here in the panel, all you have to do is select a style. You don't have to style it again and again. You've just predefined the styles over here. So again, to create a text style, what we have to do is select the text, head over to your properties panel, click on the style icon beside text, and click on create styles, and then you just type in here your body text and then your subtitle. So I'll just create my subtitle. Alright, same way my header one. Alright, so I have my header 1, subtitle and body text. So now in the properties panel, you'll be able to see all your text styles appear over here. So my body text, subtitle and header 1 are appearing right over here. So say suppose I am making a card or something of that sort and I'm writing my header or subtitle and I need my font type to be of header, alright? So I can generally just type in something, and here you see already it is acquiring the text style. So if I click on this and I click on style, you'll be able to see that I'm able to view all of the styles that are available. So if I want a body text, if I want it to be of the type subtitle or header, so I want subtitle, so I have my subtitle over here. So this is cool. And maybe I want some paragraph text over here. So I'm just going to copy this down here, duplicate this by pressing Ctrl D. And then I want this to be of my body text type. So I'm just going to select it, head over to your properties panel, select your subtitle, click over here, and you'll be able to see the other text style. So I'm just going to change this to body text. So now you can add in whatever that you want right over here. The same way that color styles work, text styles we've also understood. So same way that we could make changes to the original color style, we can also make changes to our original header style or text style. As in, if I want to make this maybe 22 pixels, I change my mind and I want my body text to be about 22 pixels. All I have to do is change this over here and you can see that is already changed, right? So that is how it works. Same way, let's talk about making shadows or effect styles. Okay, so effect styles is something that you can use to add your drop shadows, your background blurs and all of that. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a simple rectangle right here and I'm going to add a simple shadow to it and show you how it works. I'll select it, head over to my properties panel and change the border radius a little bit. Okay, so now it is all curvy and nice. So now what I'm going to do is select it, head over to your properties panel, click on the effects section over here, and I'm going to create a very subtle shadow, not very bright, nothing too harsh, a very subtle shadow. So maybe about 8% blur, and then the opacity can be 10%, and we can go about 0 to on X and Y axis. So we have our shadow over here. It is very subtle, so you won't probably be able to see it. So if I select this rectangle and maybe I want a color, I want this color to be of layout white, layout light. So I'm just going to select it and change it to layout light. And now you can see a very subtle shadow over there, right? I can also change the color of the shadow, but I think this is okay. So I'm going to make it about 15%. Okay, so I have my shadow appear over here. Alright, so now what do I do to change this to an effect style? Same way that we did with text styles and color styles, we are going to head over to our properties panel, click on the style icon, click on create style, and then you're going to call this anything that you want. I'm just going to call it elevation 1. Alright, so elevation 1. So now in your properties panel, along with your text and color styles, you're able to see your effect styles as well. And just as you could edit your text styles and color styles, you can also edit your elevation style. Alright, so now if I make a random rectangle over here and change its fill property to maybe yellow, and I want it to have the same elevation as this one, all I have to do is click on it, head over to my properties panel, click on the style beside effects and click on elevation 1. So now it has got the same subtle shadow that I made, that I predefined. So that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please leave a like if you could draw anything valuable from it. Please subscribe and also leave your comment down below. Thank you so much.